Claiming that without apology now, understanding what it does for us in our mental health, in our mental well-being, right? What it does for us as physical creatures. I'm talking mind, body, and spirit. What reclaiming our African spirituality does for us will far surpass anything else that we can do. Look at history. What did they work really hard to make sure that we lost?
Ourselves.
Our understanding of self, God, and nature. That's the linchpin. Give you the language. I know folks speak 4 or 5 African languages. Y'all follow? Yeah. I know elders who have sisters coming to them totally infertile. Nothing has worked.
Right.
They mash up some certain herbs and stuff, give them a certain regimen, using divination tools to assess and prescribe and get results every time. Who playing?
Right.
It's the final frontier, ladies and gentlemen.
That's right.
Without that, to quote the great philosopher Snoop Dogg, you'll never go platinum. Without it, it ain't gonna work. Why do you think they work so hard?
Right.
To make us so offended and afraid of our stuff. Animal sacrifices. You read the Old Testament lately?
That's right.
Leviticus.
Quit playing.
Yeah.
They got us thinking that our stuff is wicked, and somehow their stuff is okay, and it's the same thing.
Right.
That's right. KFC.
Where was Moses from? I don't even start talking about the slaughterhouses. And then you got kosher ones, right?
That's right. That's right.
Halal meat. I mean, when they do it a different way, they do it ritualistically.
You do pray.
Kosher meat and halal meat is murdered ritualistically.
Right.
Right.
Y'all better quit playing.
That's right.
See, Sun Tzu, the art of war, right? He said, you want to appear weak when strong and strong when weak, right? You want your enemy to think that what they got going on is the best thing for them, especially when you gave it to them, right? It's like, and this is, I'm jumping ahead, but it's like if Clark Kent really thought that he was Superman. I'm sorry, Superman really thought he was Clark Kent.
Right.
Y'all imagine the amount of power he would be wasting? Walking around fumbling stuff?
Right.
Y'all get what I'm saying? What's Clark Kent's real name from his planet? Like Kal-El, right?
Halal.
El. It's like a God name.
Yeah.
It's his God name. We've lost our God name. We've grown apologetic for even thinking that we might be related to God somehow. Dr. Wells uncovered that. Black man, black woman, black baby. White man, white woman, white baby. The only way that you're going to get a white Jesus is if you got a white father God.
Right.
That's right.
She covered that. She told us. She said, look to yourselves. She called the book the ISIS Papers, and you know, it ain't but like 2 sentences in the book that tells why she called it the ISIS Papers. It blew my mind when I went back and reread it. I'm like, dang, You know, she talked about Osset. You know, she talked about Osiris and Isis. She's talking about how the Lord of the perfect black, how our ancient ancestors was on it. And somehow or another, by tricking us into turning our back on it, we end up slaves. But we can reclaim it. We can reclaim it real easy. Kal-El, Clark Kent. Which I want you to saw. I couldn't find the black Superman. I looked for it though. I did. There's a couple points of the presentation. I'm like, dang, I gotta show this picture. All my revolutionary folks up here showing Superman. You got Cam So by lacking an understanding and identity, by having that clean slate, and allowing these folks to rewrite stuff, right? Allowing these folks to put stuff on our chalkboards. My children and I, we went to the new African American Museum of History and Culture. One of my former students works there. She slid us in the back door. And she took us on a tour, and she wanted to take us down to the basement first. And thanks to Brother Brown, I already knew what was down there from our previous conversation. I said, nah, sis, I ain't taking my babies down there. And that's when they're talking about, you know, slavery and all this other stuff. I'm good. I ain't seen it myself. But I know I'm not about to expose them to that.
Okay.
Why? Because the ancestry is so much greater than that.
Right.
It started before that again. That's a microaggression. Right. I'm not going to do that to my kids. Yeah, they know about it. My son asked me the other day, Baba, I didn't know the Ku Klux Klan still exists. I said, okay, time for the combo.
Yeah.
Shouldn't it be illegal, though, for them to do that?
They ain't never shut up.
Like, well, depend on if it's justice or just us. Right? It depends on what we're talking about. Yeah, it's immoral. Yeah, it's not correct. But some of those police officers are actually them too.
That's right.
You got to make it plain for the babies, but you got to do it on your terms. Right? My babies ain't going to see this stuff. Not yet. Not yet.
Right.
My babies know how to pour libation, though.
All right.
My baby girl is an initiated priestess of Osset. I mean, of Yeba Yah, I said. You know, because my wife, she was nursing at the time when she was going through her initiation. And so our initiators, they do it old school. Right? You know, some days you got to wait until after you nurse. No, we did old school. She went through with her mama. Latched on and everything. So now, you know, she up there doing all the work. She doing everything the same way. Right? But, you know, that's just what it is. They did us good, y'all. They did a good job on us. They shook our identity. See, we talk about slavery from the perspective of the economic aspect of it, the political aspect of it, right? We talk about the identity aspect of it, but we rarely ever see this as them working their witchcraft.
Right.
We rarely ever see this as a big old blood sacrifice. We rarely ever, I was watching this documentary called Hitler and the Occult. That's homework, look it up. Look it up, you can find the whole thing on YouTube. Hitler and the Occult. Him and his crew, they was going around the world looking for any type of ancient relic that they could find.
That's right there, true.
Ancient spiritual relics now. Now I ain't talking about like pimp chalices and stuff, you know, with gold adorned. I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about like real relics like the Ark of the Covenant. You remember Indiana Jones? Raiders of the Lost Ark? He was fighting against who? It was Nazis, wasn't they?
That's right.
That's what they was looking for, this stuff. They was up in the Himalayas talking to monks and stuff. So in this documentary, they talk about how the dude that was responsible for running the gas chambers, right? That he was the highest of the occult masters within his SS crew. He was the highest ranked as far as occult mastery is concerned within Hitler's crew. He was responsible for the blood offering. Just look it up for yourself. Don't believe me. But when I saw that, I said, whoa. They're telling us to bring water guns to nuclear battle.
Well, I'm telling you, right?
Our ancestors are waiting in an unemployment line right now, ladies and gentlemen. Got us scared. Got us scared to call on our ancestors. Got us scared to go somewhere to like a Nanaquaban or somebody. It's real. The works is real. Our spiritual power is real. They got you scared to go tap it in, though.
Right.
I don't believe it. I mean, if Nana was here, I would go further. But he ain't here. Our works is real. It was more than economics. It was more than trading, right? This was literally vampirism. This is really spiritual science taking place. Reclaiming our spirituality is the final frontier. It's the final frontier. Who knows Nas' real name, by the way? Who knows what Nasir means? It means the protector. Nasir means the protector. Somehow or another, he got tricked. Somehow or another, he got tricked. The protector. Who knows what these are?
Hebrew.
What does this one say? This is the Tetragrammaton, right? It's supposed to be the ineffable name, it's supposed to be the name you can't pronounce of God, right?
Okay.
And this one is the one, this is Jesus, when they add that symbol to the middle, they're supposed to say Jesus. But the secret in it is what does it look like when it's stacked like this?
Human body.
Look like a human body, right? Looks like a person standing there, don't it? And see, that's one of those secrets right there. Like, cause usually it's written side by side, right? Going horizontally. When you stand it up, though, when you stack it up, you're looking at a person. What do you think that symbol means?
Reaching to the higher. We are God. The higher
God.
light.
Doesn't your book tell you that ye are gods? Ain't that written in red? Look to your neighbor and say, neighbor, written in red. What do it mean when it's written in red, ladies and gentlemen? That's what they said Jesus said, right? I don't know what, nobody there writing it down. The Gospels is written, but like, long time after Jesus is supposed to die. But anyway, I ain't here nor there. It's sacred still. This is one of those secrets, y'all. You are God. God is you. Think about this. 3 major attributes of God are what? Omnipotence, omnipresence, and omniscient, right? So omnipresent means what? Everywhere all the time, right?
Right.
Even you. So there's no way that God is not, if God is in fact omnipresent. So there's no blasphemy in saying that you are God, that God is within you.
Right.
There's no blasphemy there. Right?
Right.
We've been said that. When I get to the personality section, y'all gonna see something. I'm gonna show y'all when we get to personality. Ah, we have personality.
All right.
Who saw this movie Split? Woo! If you haven't seen Split, go see Split. So, Split is about this dude. Matter of fact, it's Professor Charles Xavier, the young one. He's playing dude. I don't know his real name. Professor X. Say it again? James McAvoy. So, the whole thing is about dissociative identity disorder, which used to be called multiple personality disorder.
Right.
Now, real science now, and Baba Amos Wilson talked about it too, how when a person shifts into another personality, this personality can have a peanut allergy. Another personality could love peanut butter and not have an allergy, but be diabetic, right? The other one can be very fragile and weak, and these things really take place within the physiology of the individual. Really. And so, because it's in the context of a disorder, it's always perceived as some type of disorder, but there was a psychiatrist in the movie who talked about, or is it really an advancement? Is he really superior? Wasn't in control of it though. If you're in control of it, then definitely you're superior and advanced. Y'all get it?
Yeah.
It's like right now, if I could turn into that thing, the beast, and climb up all the walls and I'm all diesel, you can't shoot me.
Right.
If I could do that on purpose,
Right.
and at will,
Right.
it's a different ball game now, ladies and gentlemen. Do y'all agree? So now check this out. Y'all ready for this? When we talk about personality, we take it old school. So they show you this stuff, but they talk about phlegmatic and all this other stuff in the psychology textbooks. We deal with the elements. Air, earth, fire, and water, right?
Right.
Air, earth, fire, and water. All of which is some type of combination of temperature. H is hot, C is cold, M is moist, D is dry, right? So it's a combination of temperature and humidity. And so when you talk about the zodiac signs, we got air signs, earth signs, fire signs, and water signs, right?
Right.
I say, girl, what your sign is? Capricorn, right? I'm a Pisces. Whatever. You fit in one of these categories. Everything in creation fits in one of these categories. There's nothing that is that does not fit somewhere in one of these 4 quadrants.
Okay.
So I'm a Capricorn, right? So it's an earth sign, right? And so this will be part of my disposition. But through spiritual training and initiation and stuff like that, my goal is to work myself right there to the middle point. Why would that make sense, Dr. Menzise? Glad you asked. What happens is that different situations call for different things, right?
Right.
And so if I'm always a Capricorn,
Right.
I'm always stubborn,
Right.
I'm always slow motion,
Right.
right? I'm always taking forever to come up with a reason, right? Right? Well, I think as one of my teacher, Ron F. Men talks about, you could be a watery person trying to be a security guard somewhere, that ain't gonna work, right? You're nurturing, you know, you kind of go with the flow,
Right,
you kind of
right,
go.
right.
It's like, hey man, let me talk to you real quick. Okay, you know, you should turn your back and they're robbing your store.
Right.
It ain't gonna work. You got some situations where you need to what? Be able to call on fire.
Right.
Some situations where you need to be steadfast. You
Right.
can't move me right now.
Right.
Right? You got some situations where I need to be wind, meaning subtle. You don't know I'm there until I affect something in your environment. That's how you know the wind blowing. You see
Right.
the trees moving. Other than that, you don't know.
Right.
Oh, yeah, DC, you see the
Arizona
trash
is
blowing.
this.
Ain't that true? I got issues with that. Because they got these street cleaner signs all over the place. Don't clean that street, but it told you.
Right,
That's right.
Don't get me started. I'll be talking about this. So, equidistance, that's what initiation does. It takes you out of your condition and places you as your true self. It takes you out of your condition and it places you as your true self, which is unconditioned, full of potential and all possibilities. Y'all follow? Now here's the part that was gonna blow your mind. I think I'm gonna blow your mind. So now let's look at this in the context of split. Let's look at our Orisha in the context of split. Right? Let's look at the Netaru in the context of split. Right? Let's look at this. Let's think about if I am approaching a situation where I know the most beneficial way for me to be is very martial and detached and ready for war, and I know a particular chant that I can sing, I know particular foods that I can eat, I know certain colors I can wear, I know certain oils I can put on me to bring me closer to this energy before going in that situation, I just flip the script. If I know that going in this meeting, coming in like this is going to create great defensiveness, but instead I should be more yielding and watertight, I might need to call on, depending on what type of water I'm looking for, I might need to call on Heteru Shun, I might need to call on Yeba Yala Set to get into the proper personality. Y'all with me?
Yeah.
This is our spiritual science. This is our African psychology. The ability to master yourself to the point to where you can manipulate yourself, to the point to where your will is only second to whatever it is that gave you your will in the first place. Do y'all get that? Your will is superior to everything except that which gave you the will. Now what you looking like?
God.
What you said?
God.
God. Big G or little G, I don't care. Whichever one you most comfortable with. Take it. Little G, cool. Anybody got Big G out there? Big G?
I'm Big G.
Big G, big G.
Capital G-O-D.
Capital G, capital O, and capital D.
That's right.
All of the above. I know that. That's why I call that. Say anybody got anything else? Because my philosophy is this: whatever floats your boat or finds your lost remote.
Say that last one again.
Whatever floats your boat or finds your lost remote. That's Andre 3000, the great philosopher.
All right, that's right. I like that.
The great philosopher Andre 3000.
Right.
But it's real. Imagine that though. I mean, really. So if any of y'all have been in an African ritual, and the priests and the priestesses, quote unquote, get possessed. If you're in Vodun, they get mounted, right? If you in Osira said they're carrying, right? I done seen a brother, true story. These high priests, we have been on them all night. Marshall, I mean, they number brothers, and then we got machetes. You know, we eat raw onions, eating raw garlic. We just get clean. This brother, he was totally entranced, totally carrying Heru Kahudi. There was this big old, like iron pot, you know those iron pots? You call it a ting and a king. And he got down on his hands. He did a handstand over this pot, lowered himself down in it, and his legs like kind of curved back. It would seem to be physically impossible. He stayed in there forever. And it's like incense burning in this joint too. So I'm like, dude, you breathing? And then he raised, after a while, he just raised himself back out of the mud. His legs are up in the air. So he pushed himself up out of it, came back down and kept dancing with machetes. Totally carrying this energy. Totally. We were up all night, literally. By the time the community came into the ritual, we had been ritualizing for a good 12 hours at that point. The last frontier is the reclamation, the reclaiming of our African spiritual traditions without apology. Think about it. They kicked our ass.
Right.
They did. They are. Kicking. What do we have? Say it again. We have restraint or we're being restrained.
Right.
It's like humble, humility, and humiliate all got the same root.
Right.
They all got the same root. It's a very thin line in that. So yes, we absolutely have restraint. My question is, why are we so restrained?
Right.
Why? Is it because we're just such good-natured people?
No.
Not what I know. Not when we got something like a Heru and an Ogun that we could call them. They exist for reasons. Scorpion is sting your ass. It ain't mad at you. It's just doing what it do. Drink some poison, drink some bleach and see if it don't burn you up. The bleach ain't mad at you.
Right.
It's doing what it do. On the Amistad, and you see that brother digging with his nail, pulling that jump about the floor. Y'all think that when they was dancing and drumming and stuff, they was just, doing a stanky leg or something? No! Them brothers was ritualizing. They was calling on manifestations of that martial energy which was necessary to take over. That's why we got mumble mouth rap right now. But Dr. Wells, she boom, 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 and she do that. Noise, boom, 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 she do that. Our music is noise. Our children are being flooded with this stuff. Why? Because it keeps them distracted. It keeps them from being focused. It keeps them from being able to call on any of this. It keeps them from even knowing that this stuff exists.
Right.
Think about that. Y'all seen that Sprite commercial? I know you have. LeBron James. That dude, Lil Yachty. They go like zoom into the Ice Cube. He said, "Cold like Minnesota." Like playing the piano, and they go, and everybody starts singing high pitch. If you haven't seen it, you're fortunate.
Ain't seen it.
It's some trash. But that's what's being pumped right now. And it's only because we're vulnerable. You get sick when your immune system is down. Right? Our immune system is down. In fact, I think we got an autoimmune disease collectively. Meaning that we can't recognize our own body. And so we attack it. Y'all get it?
Wow.
Question.
Down is forward. Yes, ma'am.
The colors, are they the elements?
No, ma'am. That's just kind of, I took some artistic
Decorative?
liberties.
Okay.
So the colors like here, number 9 I said it's gonna be like blue and green, ocean type colors.
Okay.
You got Sebek is gonna be like, call it saffron, it's yellow.
So is this inverted?
I'm sorry?
Is this inverted?
Inverted?
You said 9 blue,
Say it again? No, please. Because if you got the question, somebody else do too.
Right. Speak up.
Okay. So no, it's not inverted. It's not inverted. What you do have is situations where you see a tree within a tree, and you see like 4 of them stacked on top of each other sometimes. And then what you like, for example, if we could zoom in into the Heru-Kuti's 5th sphere, we would see a whole nother one of these in there. You see what I'm saying? But it's not inverted.
Let's go back. Explain this. What you want to get from
What I want y'all to get from this is the fact that we've got multiple aspects of ourselves. And it's called Neteru in some traditions, it's called Orisha, it's called Wa, whatever, it's called angels, archangels.
Archetypal psychology.
These are all aspects of ourselves that we can learn to understand and then master to the point where we can manifest it at any given moment, at any given time. So each one is also called Kabbalah. You see this under Kabbalah sometimes. But each one of these carries its own characteristics and attributes. Mental characteristics and attributes, physical, physiological characteristics and attributes, right? It covers the entire gamut. And so if you, for example, was manifesting Heru, or let's say Oshun or Heru, then you're easygoing, you're flexible, you're social, you're dealing with social harmony. You flip that to Heru Kahuti, you're very detached and you'll cut somebody's head off. You follow what I'm saying? Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Could you say again what you said about autoimmune disorder?
Yes, ma'am. So I think that we're suffering from an autoimmune disease, meaning that we cannot recognize our own body, and so we're attacking. Yes, ma'am.
I actually wanted to share and point out that these particular names might be unfamiliar to some folks.
Yeah.
However, it's also interesting that if we put Greek similar names around these particular energies, they would probably be more familiar to most of us.
Right.
So if we talked about Thor, if we talked about Aphrodite, if we use some of those names and the characteristics and the personalities and the energies associated with them, unfortunately, more of us have been familiar with them because, one, you're allowed to talk about them.
Right. Have movies and everything.
2, we're not, besides this is rarely taught in our communities, it's also something that we've been socialized and educated not to talk about. So if you mention anything that has to do with African spirituality, the first folks, things are going to say, devil worship and things of that sort, and not really get to the truth about anything. So I just wanted to mention that those names could be associated with some of the, quote, Greek pantheons and things like that, and some of the personalities you might be more familiar with. So that's what that is.
And here's a direct example. So you see Heru, Hercules.
Right.
Right? Sebek, you're looking at Mercury. Right? And you can do that for each and every one of them.
Right.
Yes, ma'am.
Where is a resource where we can understand what those
Excellent
things
question.
mean?
And so this particular configuration, as it exists right here, you're going to find that in the Medu Netter Volume 1. Ron, that's where I'm at.
I'm sorry.
Netter volume.
Yes, ma'am. The Medu Netter Volume 1. It's a book. M-E-T-U. And the second word is N-E-T-E-R. And that's Volume 1. Volume 1 and 2. Yes, so the first word is M-E-T-U. And the second word is Netter, N-E-T-E-R. Volume 1. Serious psychology textbook. Say it again. Are there 12 Sephiroth in the Kabbalah? Yeah, so it's the same. So like, for example, Amen would be Ein Sof, Er. And then we talk about Kether et Oser, right? We got Chakma and Bina, and so you go all the way down. And then what's not here is Da'ah, which is the hidden one, right? So yeah, so this does align perfectly with the Kabbalah, the Hebrew Kabbalah. Yes, sir.
I'm more familiar with Orisha.
Yes.
So a lot of these names are somewhat new.
Okay, yeah, y'all will?
Not yet, I'm preparing.
Okay.
I will be crowning Elewa.
Nice.
So I'm in the Afro-Q. So I'm in preparation now.
Nice.
So when Elewa calls me, I'll go and crown.
So I'll show you something in a couple of slides dealing with Elegba. So, okay, so if we're talking about the Orisha, there are correlations here for the Orisha as well. I'm interchanging them sometimes as I'm talking, but they're there, like Shango, Heru, Ogun, Heru Kahudi, Arumala, Atahudi, Yemoyad, Oset, right? Eshu, Elegba, Sebek, right?
So that's a class in itself, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Yes, yes it is. Yes. Okay, I'll do it in a nutshell. I'm going to talk like the dude at the end of the commercial telling you the side effects. Yes, okay. All right.
Can you speak louder?
Yes. And if I go low again, call me out. So you're looking at our set, that's the motherhood, nurturing, all right? Gestation deals with meditation, altered states of consciousness. We got Sebek. Sebek is very left-brained. Sebek is that dude that'll sell salt to a slug. Sebek will sell you oceanfront property in the middle of Colorado. And you think you got a deal, right? So Sebek is logical thinking, it's left-brained, right? It's information, very much informed, right? So you know people that are like that, very loquacious with their vocabulary, right? Cool. Heteru, number 7, as I said earlier, is kind of free-flowing. It's like the young lady type of energy. Heteru walks in the room and everybody watching like, bang, right? Very aesthetically pleasing. Looks good, smells good, tastes good, sounds good, feel good, must be Heteru.
Oh, shoot.
Oh, shoot. Cool. All this in a nutshell. All deals with creative visualization, very creative. People that are very artsy. And this is the reason why a lot of artistically inclined people can hardly get anything done. Because, so much in that mold. It's just hard to put that structure, that rigidness that's necessary to take it from the artistic expression to actual productivity. And that's why they got managers and stuff to do it. Right, come on, get this out. Let me promote this for you because you just sit there and paint all day. Heru, very steadfast. The hawk is its symbol. If you notice, it's at the top of the pyramid. This is the peak of a pyramid. This is one side. This is another side. This is another side. That's the other side. So it's like very clear-sighted, clearly conscious, aware, leadership. It lines up with the will, making decisions, those types of things. Head of household type of thing, man or woman, managers, things like that. Heru Kahudi, as I said earlier, very detached, very fiery, very martial, So Heru Kahudi, a lot of people think that Heru Kahudi energy is that really wild out, wild out coming in. But Heru Kahudi in a balanced state is like a ninja. The ninja that came in, cut the person's head off, they still talking, don't even realize it happened until the head hit.
Right.
That's supreme Heru Kahudi. You didn't even know it happened. It was that slick, it was that sharp, it was that calculated, it was that precisely executed. That's it in the balanced state. Maya, truth, balance, reciprocity, I know the thing, right? But it's also dealing with interdependency. Also a great giver, right? One that's there to support anything that needs to be supported. I'm going really fast, it's all in a nutshell. So much more I can say about each one of these. Then Sekert, that's the older one. That's the slow mover. That's the one when you're trying to catch that train because you hear it coming on the platform, and there's an elder walking in front of you. And you dare not blow past. And if you do blow past, you probably fall down the escalator anyway. Right? You don't seen it happen. I had this dude, I had a dream one night, and white dude was chasing me. I didn't know what was happening. You know, it was a dream. I woke up scared, like white dude chasing me, oh my God. So the next day after class, I'm crossing the street and I hear footsteps. I look back and see white dude running up on me. He tripped straight off the curb and bust his mouth. Dang, I kept walking. Literally, dang, I kept walking. But Sekert is the one that'll stop you short like that. Sekert number is 13. And people think 13 is unlucky because it begins a new cycle, right? And based on our worldview, death is not the end, it's a new beginning.
Right.
So it's not scary for us. But Sekert governs the cemetery and things of that nature, the gateway between life and death. Very slow movement, deep protracted thinking. If you're in the field of law, Sekert is like Supreme Court justice. None of the ones we know, but you know, in the perfect world, the Supreme Court justice, when Lady Justice don't got a blindfold on and a big ass sword. Who trusts that? Think about it. I'm standing here with a blindfold on, a big ass sword and the scale telling me I'm measuring something. And based on the outcome, judgment. Anyway, I'm not talking about that. Sekert, we got Tahuti, which is wisdom. That's again, that's elder, very wise, very learned, and whatever the subject matter is, very masterful type of individual. Very insightful. Actually, don't got to think about it at all, right? That type of person that just knows stuff. It don't take them a whole lot of time to get that information for you. Even your moments of clarity, right? Our moments of clarity. You're sitting somewhere and you was trying to figure something out and poof, you just show up out the blue. Right. That's that Tahuti piece. Tahuti is, you're trying to figure something out and you turn on the TV and it just so happen to be somebody on TV talking about what you're trying to figure out. That's that Tahuti piece. Man, I was trying to think of the name of that book. Man, this girl on the train next to me was reading that book.
Right.
That's that thing right there. Osir is like that unconditioned self. It's that one, it's like the sage, it's like that one who has embodied and mastered all these different levels. So now when they're moving through the world, one with the world, in it and also not of it. Y'all follow? So they're walking through, that's like when Jesus was resurrected. That's Jesus and came back. That's Heru. That's Heru resurrecting Osir. That's really what that is. When he brought his father back, right? Y'all follow? So that's it in a nutshell. Then Amen is just a state of energy. Energy, matter, consciousness, will. And Geb is all physical manifestation. Cool? All right. Moving along, class. Down is forward. So these are all personalities. Now, a lot of this stuff, I'm still wrestling with in my own mind. And so this is my perspective of what we're looking at here. When you look at people with the animal heads, in the ancient Egyptian or Kemetic scripture on the wall, writings on the wall, my understanding is that that human being has embodied the characteristics of whatever the animal is there. And so in this particular case, we're looking at Ampu, or Apua, is that jackal head, right? It's like that spirit of discernment, in other words. Y'all heard about that in church, right? We got to have a spirit of discernment. Look to your neighbor and say, spirit of discernment. Spirit of discernment. And it makes sense, because if the ears are up, very keen sense of hearing, keen sense of smell, keen sense of sight. But here's the other thing about Ampu. Is that the jackal, you know how they eat their food? They bury it first and they let it rot. They let it putrefy, right? And they dig it up at the right moment, they eat rotten food, right? And it also correlates, when you look at the 4 jars, the canoptic jar, if I'm not mistaken, it's the one that deals with the digestive tract. Am I mistaken, anybody? Huh? Right. Okay, and so but I'm saying the one with the jackal on the top, Ramutep, I think it is. Is that the intestine? And so it's still that discernment piece. Because if you notice in your intestines, all along your intestinal wall are different receptor sites that are designed to pull in very specific nutrients at that particular site. So you got a spot that's, loosely vitamin C, vitamin B. You got different parts of the intestinal tract that's designed to pull up exactly what it needs. Flip that, African worldview. Your intestines are like the root system of plants that also go in and pour the exact nutrient that it needs out of the soil. Ain't that something? Right? And then your lungs are like the leaves, exchanging oxygen, right, for carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, right? Pretty slick, ain't it?
Right.
Yeah. And so we got all these things. That's the as above, so below stuff. As within, so without. It all correlates like that. So I just want to point that out. So these are different personalities that we're looking at here. And they're being infused with the Ankh and Ma'at. So he's being infused with Ankh and Ma'at of Epu. He's being infused with Ankh and Ma'at of Heteru, or Hathor. And that's old Sarah leading the way. I don't know if it's somebody on the other side or not. Down this road. Let's go. When y'all look at this word emotion, what do you see?
Motion.
Motion, right? That movement, right? And so the E, to me, says energy. So emotions are energy that move, right? And so the same energy that's moving you towards sorrow is the same energy that moves you towards happiness.
Okay.
It's the same energy. It's just how you perceive whatever it is that moves the energy that determines how you quote-unquote experience that energy. Y'all with me?
Yeah.
No.
Yes? And so when you're moving like that, so here's the way that I learned it from Shepherd Robin there for a minute. You got this stained glass window, right?
Okay.
It's got 6 different color panes on it.
Right.
And you got this flashlight on this side. And when the flashlight goes through this glass, it's going to come out the 6 different colors. The light is the same light on this side, it's just been colored by that particular pane of glass.
Okay.
The same with your emotions and the energy that moves. Y'all got it? All right, and so with that, when you think about your different emotional states, when you think about you as an unconditioned individual, like on that Osir piece, then that means that you no longer are made to feel any way. You're now choosing to feel certain ways.
Okay.
Y'all get that? Most times when we don't choose, it's because we don't know we got a choice. We have no idea that we can't choose. So for example, if I'm in the club, I got my brand new Yeezys on, and somebody come up and step on my foot and I shoot them,
Right.
and I'm mad. I'm pissed because somebody stepped on my shoe. That's a conditioned response, right? Because when a 2-year-old baby comes along and steps on my same shoe, I'm not going to kill the baby, but some fools would, but most wouldn't. So it's not that that automatically makes you angry. It was other things that contributed to the choice of reacting that way. Now, choice and reaction sounds like a contradiction. Right? Choice and reaction. Because reaction usually you don't think.
Right.
But when you're going through initiation, you're slowing it down to the point where you are making choices in every moment of every day. Right?
Conscious choices. Conscious choices.
Conscious choices.
You're always making choices.
Always making choices.
Based on whatever your stuff is.
Yep.
And your mindset.
And so it's conscious and intentional choice.
Right.
Thank you, Doc.
The autoimmune disease.
Say it again.
That's the auto disease you were talking about.
Yes, sir. And so, just like some people say that AIDS was created in a laboratory and given to us and them. Matter of fact, there's a documentary out where they talk about using the chimpanzee kidneys to create a polio vaccine, and then they injected sub-Saharan Africans with it, and all of a sudden HIV started popping up. And then the dude, I think he was like some Polish scientist, like, I was never in the Congo. The dude showed him a picture like, that's you standing right there with a chimpanzee over here. Cut the camera off, cut the camera off. Alternative facts. You ever wondered why the Joker is the strongest card in the deck? Who's space players? Joker Deuce, Joker Ace, how y'all doing it? But the Joker is like the most powerful card in the deck, right?
Whiz, brother. Big whiz.
Big whiz. I ain't never learned big whiz. Culturally. I'm not that cultured. But we got this situation here to where we got this Joker. Why is the Joker the most powerful card in the deck? Manifest what it wants.
Beats everything, doesn't he?
Huh?
Doesn't he beat everything?
Beat everything? Yeah, but in the context of emotion. Fool card. So what about the fool? The Joker. The trickster. The court jester, right? The ringmaster in the circus. The reason why they reign supreme is because they're manipulating and controlling the emotions of the people in the room. That's the comedian.
Right.
Got you cracking up laughing. Got tears. You can't even see you laughing, crying and stuff. Got you right here in the palm of their hand. That's the Joker. Now, what else do you notice right now? Not too far. Too fast. Huh. Can't make it up. It's also
Right.
why before the ritual, we pay homage to Eshu.
That's right.
If we in the Kemetic sign, we pay homage to Sebek. I don't care if we bring it on Sarah Batala. I don't care who we bring it. You better check with this one first.
I like that.
I like, brother.
You better make sure that way is open.
That's right.
Because if you don't, all kind of stuff might go wrong. Why? It's coming for his. Anyway, y'all. When brothers fight to the death, a stranger inherits their property. When we don't have control of our emotions. For example, if I've mastered the emotion of anger, that means that I've mastered it here, I've mastered it here, I've mastered it there. I can piss you off and I can make you not mad anymore. Why? Because I've mastered anger wherever that energy manifests itself.